The WWE NXT draws its highest total viewership since April 20, 2021, over 2 years for this week's episode on USA Network. Details on that and a UFC lawsuit that's ongoing could provide a major issue and provide a big headache for WWE moving forward if indeed it is successful. Details on that plus what is Ronda Rousey's WWE legacy? Mick Foley ponders that question as Rousey has seemingly left WWE after her SummerSlam match against Shayna Baszler. Plus Liv Morgan teases a brand new look. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. Let's start off talking about the ratings for NXT on USA Network this week. Very strong, the biggest total viewership in over 2 years. Now, this week's episode of NXT on USA Network drew an average of 776,000 viewers, which is the highest viewership number of the year and the highest since April 20, 2021. It was up 59,000 from last week's big 717,000 number that they did on USA Network as well. The average viewership this year is 619,000. The average through 32 weeks last year was 596,000. Again, showing that year over year NXT is experiencing growth when it comes to total viewership. The show headlined with Dominic Mysterio with Rhea Ripley defending his North American Championship against Dragon Lee with Rey Mysterio, Dominic's father, in his corner. The key 18 to 49 demographic rating was a 0.23, the same as the prior 2 weeks. The growth was outside of that core demographic as the cable rating jumped from 0.53 last week to 0.58 this week, the highest cable rating since September 13 last year. The average 18 to 49 demographic rating this year is a 0.16, so it's well above what it was drawing earlier on in the year, again showing growth, particularly when it comes to that 18 to 49 demographic as well. The January-February average demo rating was 0.14. It finished number 1 among all cable shows on Tuesday night. For context, AEW Dynamite last week drew 894,000 viewers and a 0.31 demo rating. In the 18 to 34 demo, last week's Dynamite drew a 0.22 rating compared to NXT's 0.31 in that same demographic. The last 8 weeks, NXT has averaged 0.22 among the younger male demo, while Dynamite has averaged 0.29, so Dynamite still has a healthy lead in that demo when averaged over the last 2 months. But certainly, again, massive numbers for NXT in context of the biggest total viewership that they've done in over 2 years. In addition to that, the 18 to 49 demographic, whilst it's been steady for the last 3 weeks, has seen continued growth this year, and the 18 to 34 demographic, the number that reportedly WWE wants to beat AEW in, is growing also. So what do you make of these numbers? Should AEW feel concerned about these numbers? And can NXT continue to grow with this main roster influence, as we have seen in recent weeks and months, with several more main roster stars being involved in the product on USA Network? Let me know your thoughts, your opinions, your predictions in the comment section below as always. Now, this is a fascinating story because a lawsuit affecting UFC could have potential ramifications for WWE in the future. An antitrust lawsuit against UFC that alleges the suppression of wages can move forward thanks to a ruling by a judge in Nevada. The lawsuit was originally filed in 2014, nearly a decade ago, and states that around 1,200 fighters from 2010 to 2017 were underpaid based on the profits the company was making. U.S. District Judge Richard Boulware has granted class action status to the fighters, according to a report from Reuters. Eric Kramer, chairman of the Berger Montague and the lead attorney representing the lawsuit, said, quote, "The UFC pays its fighters only 20% of its event revenues when boxing and other major sports pay well above 50%. UFC lawyer William Isaacson of Paul Weiss and Rifkind, Wharton and Garrison has also issued a statement claiming, quote, "This is just one step in a long legal process." Isaacson would go on to describe the lawsuit as being, quote, "legally and factually meritless." The fighters are reportedly seeking damages estimated at between $811 million and $1.6 billion from Nevada-based Zuffa, which does business as the UFC. Dave Meltzer addressed the lawsuit on Wrestling Observer Radio, suggesting that if the case goes to trial, a victory for the plaintiffs, there could be similar action against WWE in the future. future. According to Meltzer, quote, the abuse of your monopoly powers to keep salaries down could be grounds for a case against WWE. It has been previously reported that WWE has seen a series of record-breaking events taking place worldwide, boosting company profits, with the most recent, of course, being SummerSlam last weekend. If the UFC doesn't settle the lawsuit and allows it to go to trial, the ruling is that the fighters were underpaid, and UFC used abusive tactics as the market leader in order to be able to do that. The precedent is that the same case would be made against WWE. With WWE currently locked in a legal battle with MLW over many years of egregious anti-competitive behavior, the possibility of the UFC class action lawsuit going to trial could be a beneficial situation for Major League Wrestling. WWE has recently commented on the ongoing lawsuit with MLW, stating that it, quote, believes that all claims in the lawsuit are without merit and intends to defend itself vigorously against them. Of course, UFC and WWE are set to merge to form one company called TKO in September, which could mean the UFC lawsuit poses even more of an issue for WWE than it already would if there was no merger. So let me know your thoughts about this. Is it something that WWE should be concerned about? Is it something that WWE will be keeping an eye on? Do you think that the plaintiffs against UFC are going to be successful? Or, like a lot of cases like this, is it just going to be blown over and nothing will happen? Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. LA Knight was on Raw this week, and he's proven to be a big ratings draw on the Red brand. The reaction to LA Knight on Raw has proven that the star is a ratings draw in addition to being a merch seller and fan favorite. On the Monday, August 7, 2023 episode of Raw, LA Knight and The Miz came face to face, which can be seen during the broadcast. Having the most liked tweet on the official WWE Twitter account for all of SummerSlam, LA Knight's popularity is somewhat undeniable. Dave Meltzer addressed the popularity of the star on Wrestling Observer Radio, saying, quote, the one segment in the Raw ratings, there's ups and downs and all that through the show, of course, but the one segment that did way over what the best estimate would normally do was the Miz and LA Knight thing. So if you're wondering about LA Knight, he's selling merch, he's getting pops. Does it translate to ratings? The answer is yes, it does. It worked. According to WrestleNomics on Twitter, Monday Night Raw on August 7 had an average of 1.88 million viewers, up from the 1.759 million viewers of the previous week. The YouTube video featuring Knight and The Miz was the fourth highest viewed video from the episode of Raw as well. So, again, certainly proving that LA Knight, not only, as Dave Meltzer is saying, is getting pop seller merchandise, he's also now drawing ratings too. Now, what is Ronda Rousey's legacy in WWE? This is a really interesting question pondered by WWE Hall of Famer Mick Foley. In the wake of Ronda Rousey's reported WWE departure, Hall of Famer Mick Foley penned a lengthy note on Facebook to reflect on the rollercoaster pro wrestling career of the baddest woman on the planet and the possible reasons Rousey didn't thrive in the business the way that many had expected her to. Foley acknowledged that Rousey's WWE debut in 2018 paralleled that of other former greats, stressing that she made a seamless transition from MMA to pro wrestling to the point where she proved to be the catalyst for women to make history by headlining WrestleMania back in 2019. However, as the years progressed, many of Rousey's flaws became evident, the most glaring of which was her inability to cut a good promo, an undeniable prerequisite to thrive in pro wrestling or in any other branch of show business. Quote, I would put Ronda's rapid progress up there of Steve Austin, Kurt Angle and The Rock, the fastest learning curves I've ever personally seen in our business, Foley wrote. But each of these giants had one formidable arrow in their quivers that Ronda never quite got the grasp of, the ability to cut a great promo. That really was all that was missing, all that prevented Ronda from being considered an all-time great. Rousey previously attributed her subpar microphone skills to a childhood battle with a motor speech disorder, telling USA Today in an interview that she considered promos as the most difficult aspect of wrestling. The former UFC star, who underwent years of speech therapy, admittedly still tends to slur or mispronounce words and gets nervous at the very idea of public speaking. As a result, many pro wrestling pundits and fans had previously urged WWE to pair Rousey with a mouthpiece like Paul Heyman just to protect her from herself. So what are your thoughts and what do you think Ronda Rousey's legacy in WWE now that her career in the company is seemingly over? Finally, Liv Morgan may be expecting a new look from her, even though she's out with an injury right now. Liv Morgan is currently recovering from a shoulder injury, and according to a new Twitter post from the former SmackDown Women's Champion, it's possible she'll look a bit different when she returns. The tweet has no caption and simply shows a massive shorn hair, suggesting that Morgan has cut her trademark blonde locks in favour of something new. The pile of hair is not insignificant, suggesting that Morgan may come back with a drastic change to her hairstyle. Morgan was initially injured in her and Raquel Rodriguez's WWE Women's Tag Team Championship defense on May 12, just a month after the duo won the titles. Morgan and Rodriguez were forced to vacate the titles. They won them back at Money in the Bank on July 1st. Morgan was then attacked on the July 25th episode of Raw by Rhea Ripley, which was reportedly a way to write Morgan off television while she deals with either the same shoulder issue or a new one. There's currently no word on when Morgan is set to return. So again, we still don't really know if and when she's going to be back. But if she does come back, and when she does come back, she'll have a different look. But there you go, guys. It's the latest WWE news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon. Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.